Hey guys, Josh here. Today I'm going to show you how to set up and balance your DJI RS5 gimbal. Big thank you and shout out to Storyblocks for sponsoring this video. More on them in just a moment. Let's get on with it. First of all, I do want to tell you that balancing your gimbal properly is essential for those of you who want the smoothest shots. You want your gimbal to work less, not more. That way the shots come out more fluid and you get more of that Hollywood cinematic experience. But when you're doing commercial work, sometimes it's very difficult to capture all the shots yourself. That's where Storyblocks comes into place. Storyblocks is an incredible platform where you can download so many different types of stock and royalty-free assets, such as videos, light leaks, video templates for DaVinci, Adobe Premiere, and even Apple Motion. On top of that, you can edit a lot of those stock assets with AI right within Storyblocks itself. However, I want to let you in on a little bit of a secret. If you use my link down below, you can get 15% off your annual plan, but it's only with my link. So if you haven't already, make sure you check out the link down below to learn more about Storyblocks and sign up for yourself so that way you can see how incredible this is. All right, let's get back to the video. All right, friends, the RS5. This is probably my favorite gimbal that I've used to date. It wasn't like that a couple of years ago. DJI, their new single-handed gimbals have been an absolute game changer lately in the industry. But this is what we're looking at right now. So we have the upper half of the body of the RS5, and then we just have a simple battery handle. Now, what's really cool is that the battery handle from the RS4 is fully compatible with the new RS5. So the extended battery handle will work with the RS5, which is a great little touch. All right, so we're gonna set the battery and the upper half of the gimbal off to the side here. And over here on the upper half of the case, we're gonna have our quick plate. It's actually a dual quick plate with the standard Manfrotto plate on the bottom. We're gonna have our briefcase handle. So this is a really important tool, and this will help you capture a lot of low angle shots. And of course, we have our tripod, very important. Now, what's unique about the RS5 tripod is that only one leg will make all three of them open up. So it's that little added touch that DJI started doing with their newer products, just makes it so much more easy to use. So, love it. All right, so we're gonna start off by taking the upper half of the RS5, plugging in the battery. It just snaps right into place. Now remember, there is a little lock on the side here. Sometimes you have to switch it to the unlock position for it to go right in, and then lock it up. There you go. Really nice dual locking knob here. So there's a release and there's a tension knob. So again, that little extra security is really nice to have on this gimbal. Tripod will go on the bottom, just screws right on via a 1/4 20-inch screw. And as you can see, one leg opens up the rest of the tripod. And now we will take the briefcase handle and I will attach it to the side of the RS5. Locks up, and use the wing nut to tighten it up. Excellent, now the briefcase handle is set up, and essentially you want to have enough clearance where your right or left hand just clears this rear roll motor. There's a trigger up here, so you want to have plenty of space so that way when you grab it and you let go, you don't interfere with the roll motor. Very important. So here is the RS5 in all of its glory. We're gonna actually start off by releasing these little auto locks right here. Just pop those up on each of the axes. There's one here on the roll motor, or right below the roll motor. There's one right here on the tilt motor. Position it upright like this and then relock the locks. There we go. Now we're gonna work on our camera. We're gonna use this quick plate and install it onto our camera. We're gonna be using a Nikon Z8 with a Nikon 24-70. So here is our camera. As I mentioned earlier, it is the Nikon Z8, one of the heavier mirrorless setups for the RS5, but no problem for the RS5 as long as you know how to balance it properly. Make sure all your camera straps, lens covers are removed, memory cards are installed along with the battery. No camera straps. Any loose items on the camera will shift its weight and the balance overall, making your gimbal footage not as smooth as it can be. Once you've done that, we're gonna take this quick release plate. As you notice, it is a split design, so it's a super quick release plate. I'm gonna remove the top part of it right here, opening up this tensioner, and then just simply sliding out the plate by pressing on the safety notch. Boom, there we go. Next, we're just gonna simply firmly attach it to the camera, make sure it's good and secure. Next, we're gonna bring back the RS5, install the bottom part of the quick plate first, and then we'll just slide our camera right on and start the balancing process. All right, next we're just gonna slide the bottom part of the quick plate into the gimbal. Just simply click right into place, just like that. Then we'll just lock it up right here, and then lock up the tilt motor or the tilt arm. After that, we're gonna take our Nikon Z8. Again, we already installed our bottom part or top part of the quick plate, and we just slide it right here onto the top part. This gimbal makes a lot of clicks when you do things right. It's nice. You can make some minor adjustments on the camera just by sliding it left and right, just like that. I'll put it somewhere right here and then lock it up. Remember to give some clearance between the camera and this arm right here. That's important so it doesn't collide. Now, in order for things to be done properly, we're gonna be working on one axis at a time. We're gonna start with the tilt axis. So really quick, I wanna give you a rundown of what each axis does. So I'm gonna loosen everything up. So for those of you who don't know, this right here, this is tilt. This is roll. And pan is basically, pan we're used to. Same thing on a tripod, left to right, right to left turning. We're gonna first start off with the tilt. How do we work with the tilt? Well, we're gonna obviously unlock it. There we go. And our main goal here is to make sure that the camera doesn't flop forward or backward. It should remain upright just like this without tilting or doing anything weird, all right? So all we really have to do is just loosen up the quick plate tensioner and use this little dial right here to move the camera forward or backward. That's essentially all you have to do. There's one other minor adjustment, and that is this bottom adjustment right here. So how do we check that balance? Well, simply point the camera up, and if it flops forward or backward, then we need to make an adjustment. So let me give you a little demonstration. So if this camera was not properly balanced and I were to point it up and let it go, see how it flops backward? That means we need it to be adjusted. So I loosen up the top tensioner right up here. I simply slide it down or up until the camera decides to just stay straight or point it up without flopping forward or backward, as you see right here. Now what's cool is that we also have this little adjustment knob. That's another really nice addition to the RS5 for fine-tune adjustments. So you don't really have to fight with balancing this gimbal at all. As you can see, it's perfectly balanced now. Now all we have to do is just lock it up with this tensioner, reposition it so it's pointing straight, and see if it flops forward or backward. So as you can see, it flops a little bit backward. That's a minor adjustment right here on the quick plate. Loosen up the tensioner. If it's leaning backward like it just did, that means it has to be pushed forward. So you want to counterbalance everything that gravity is trying to do. Again, you can use the knob here for finer tune adjustments, but because it's geared and it's really smooth, I can just gently push the plate forward or backward. There you go, perfectly balanced on the tilt axis. So essentially, if the gimbal wants to move right, you push it to the left and vice versa. Next, we're gonna unlock the roll axis and see what it wants to do. Wow, okay, so it wants to flop over to the left. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna move it over to the right until it just stays perfectly balanced. Look at that. Took what, 5 seconds? So we'll do the same thing on now the pan axis. So I'm gonna lock everything up except for the pan. And to check the pan axis, it's really simple. All you have to do is just gently pick up the gimbal and lean it over. You see how it's swinging around? That means it's not balanced. So with the pan adjustment unlocked, we can just use the nice little adjustment screw right here and keep adjusting it until the gimbal stops swinging. And if it swings in the other direction, you know to push this arm forward. There you go, doesn't want to swing anymore. We have a successfully balanced pan axis. Now we can loosen everything up or unlock everything and check the balance one more time. Now with the whole gimbal unlocked, you can see that the gimbal or camera remains in the position that we leave it in. So now we have a perfectly balanced RS5. So that just about does it for the balancing and overall first time setup of the DJI RS5. If you learned something, if you enjoyed yourself, please let me know in the comment section down below. Again, don't forget to check out my sponsor today, Storyblocks. They have some incredible assets that will only help you with your video creation needs. All right, that's it for today. I'll see you guys in another one. Peace.